Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the real reasons on how to actually start liking to read and reading more books. So let's get started. As always, timestamps are in the description below if you want to check them out. So what I would say is the first step to reading more and actually loving to read is letting go of the trauma at school. You see, at school, you may have been forced to read a book because not always do you like the book that you have to study at school during English literature class. And that's perfectly fine. But just remember that your required reading, it doesn't have to translate into a lifelong hatred for reading. You don't have to keep reading the same books that you studied in school. And the world of books is far greater than whatever you studied in school. So you can always find your own niche. The second step on how to really read more is to really screw the classics. And I don't mean this in a bad way, because I love reading the classics also. I like to read Jane Eyre from time to time or some other really old book. But you don't have to. You see, when we read, we get this impression that what we read has to be something really deep, has to be something really profound. Just let go of all of that. Just read what you love and whatever strikes your fancy. Just because some book is a classic and someone says, oh my god, you have to read this before you die, doesn't really mean you have to read it before you die. Just let go of it and you'll find that you're reading far more books than you ever were before. Now another step when it comes to reading a book is, paradoxically, you don't have to actually read the entire thing. In fact, if you think a book is going to be crap, then just throw it out. Don't deal with it anymore. If you think a book is not worth your time, then don't fall for the sunk cost fallacy. Basically, you're making a decision based on the time and money you've already put into it. In this case, the time you've spent reading the book and the amount of money you spent buying the book. Unfortunately, if you keep reading that book, then your final cost is going to be all of that plus the time that you wasted in actually reading that book. So don't fall for the sunk cost fallacy. Just let go of that book and start another one which will hopefully be far better and more interesting. Now another thing you can consider is maybe you're reading a lot already, in which case you just do more of the same thing. What I'm talking about is expanding your definition of reading. So reading an article online, that's reading. Reading an article about sports, that's reading. Listening to an audiobook, that's reading. Making TikTok videos, that's not reading. Remember to keep it real. Now another suggestion is to fully embrace ebooks, or rather consuming your material in an electronic format. Maybe you're already doing this, but there are some die-hard traditionalists who absolutely insist that whatever book they read has to be a paper and ink book. Don't listen to them, because the fact is, an ebook is infinitely cheaper. Well, maybe not infinitely cheaper, but at least 3 to 4 times cheaper than whatever you'll find in a physical copy. And it makes sense, right? Another thing is that you can use that book wherever you go. And while we're at it, I recommend buying a Kindle. These are so useful that my family owns 2. Yeah, we got 2 Kindles. Don't even need to spend on a Kindle e-reader. You can read on your phone also. Just download an app and you're ready to go. Just that the reading experience may not be the same, but that doesn't really matter. Now you may be saying, Rishi, what do I do? Because I don't have enough time. And yeah, actually, I've encountered this problem many times. One of my friends at school also had the same thing. That stems from the wrong mindset, you see. When you're thinking about reading, you're thinking about reading for like 1 hour, for 2 hours, reading an entire book section. I read while I'm on the plane. I read while I'm in the train. I read basically everywhere, wherever I've got a spare moment. And that is how you manage to read more, by unlocking all those spare moments of time throughout your day. Actually, how I primarily read. I don't really sit down and read a book. I don't tell myself I'm going to sit down and start reading now. I just read while I'm eating or read while I'm commuting. Alright guys, reading is definitely one of the greatest things you can do. As some famous guy said, reading or books are proof that humans are capable of producing magic. So thank you very much for watching this video. Be sure to check out my email newsletter, link in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you next time.